Well, good morning, owners, or good day from the commish down in the commish's cave. Made it safely back from hurricane-riddled Florida, and me and the Mrs. Commish are safe and sound back in Cowtown to enjoy week 2 of football and concentrate more on the game, at least for one of us. Just to start things off, week 1, disappointing start for me and the Mrs. Commish, Acadian Assassins, as I posted low score of the week. And the Assassins lost as well. And I'd like to shout out to MGM for posting the high score against me that week, taking no pity on a man who was sitting in 18 hours of traffic on the interstate trying to get out of Florida. So with his score of 174 in week 1, he claims the $10 prize, and I get the booby trophy on the website for lowest score and biggest defeat for week 1. I must say, I wasn't the only one worried about the drive out of there. You saw Patriots opening night, Thursday night game. Didn't play very well. Tom phoned me after the game to tell me that him and Giselle were quite worried about me and Nat trying to get out of Florida, and he really couldn't concentrate on the game. So you could see that he was glad to see me back home as his performance in week number 2. Thanks to missing Megatron Johnson, was glad to see Tom was back in full strength in week 2. Anyways, we'll get to the games and recap the activities of week 2 as we start off with the first game we'll look at is Steel Curtain Tuscany Mayhem, and we saw Tuscany Mayhem right in the ship and go in the right direction with a 158.5 to a 92.5 win over Steel Curtain, who is probably down to about 10 Curtain by now. And game number 2, we saw Missing Megatron Johnson take on Conley's Crusaders and take a win there with a 137.5 win over 98, led by, once again, Tom Brady, who put up 47 points for him, and a lackluster performance on the Dallas side for Conley's stars of Dak Prescott and Elliott, who only put up 5 points. I think he had 8 yards total on 9 carries, not too good for him. Game number 2, we're going to 3, we see Mac Daddy's Madhouse took on Mean Green Machine in the Battle of Brant. It was also Mac Daddy's anniversary on Sunday, so congratulations to you, Bruce and Pat. And we saw Mac Daddy come from behind with a 150.5 to a 97.5. So I can just see Bruce in the office there this morning going, "Where's my coffee, bitch?" Good game there. Next matchup we see is Jethro's Heroes took on Acadian Assassins, and Jethro came up with a 153 to a 121 win over the Assassins, taking him to a perfect 2-0 to start the season, and that was led by Drew Brees' performance against New England, as just a bunch of garbage points as they were so far behind, which Drew Brees usually gets a lot of, and the Acadian Assassins were led by Alshon Jeffries, who I carried for a couple of years, and that bum couldn't do anything. So good to see he was putting up some points. Too Tired took on Forces Fockers and also became the second Beisel group to move up to 2-0, as Too Tired with the father and son team of Brad and Zach have got the ship going in the right direction and see themselves in very unfamiliar territory as they sit at the top of the standings along with Blair. They won 164 to 121.5 to claim the high score this week and the $10 prize. Initially, when Sunday wrapped up, I think it was a half a point lead between myself and Brad, with Brad having the higher score by a half a point, getting some garbage points off of Aaron Rodgers. And I kind of was hoping for, if you looked at the Smack Top, was hoping for some reprise, as the Assassins have gotten twice with the Monday Night Point Fairies, putting more points on the board for them in the corrections and getting them the win. Anyway, it didn't work out for me. I actually lost points. It looks like I lost 3 points, and it looks like Brad gained some points. So their score went up to 164 and got them the win as well as the $10 and a 2-0 record. And last but not least, it looks like the curse of first carries into the next season is continuing on, as Lucas Kickers posted this week's low score of 85 as their loss to Huey's Hogs with a 110 score. Huey was led by Landry, wide receiver for Miami, and Lucas Kickers had their points from Marcellus Bryant for Pittsburgh in their flex position. So Lucas Kickers comes out of the gates here 0-2, and Huey's Hogs moves up to 1-1. And 85 is posting the low score for this week. So after week 2 is in the books, we look at the East Division, and on top we see that Missing Megatron's Johnson sits up there with his perfect 2-0, and then there's a bottleneck for the next 4 positions with 1-1, and then we see Steel Curtain sitting at the bottom with an 0-2 start due to him losing his keeper, David Johnson out of Arizona, and seems to be feeling the crunch of no running backs on the lineups. And we see on the West Division we have the Beisel family wrapped up in the first positions there with Blair and Brad and Zach both with 2-0 starts, and then another smaller bottleneck of 3 teams, I believe, or 2 teams with 1-1, and then we have the ladies at the bottom starting off the season at 0-2. Looking into next week, we are going to see Connolly's Crusaders will step into Tuscany Mayhem, and we'll see how that battle goes, and we'll see if Dallas rights the ship and he can get Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott going in the right direction, although Ezekiel's still battling with off-field problems, and there is still a chance that they might have him start his suspension before the start of week 3, so he'll have to keep a close eye on that. And second battle will be, those are both 1-1s, so we'll see who's ahead there. Second battle we'll look at is Mean Green Machine at 1-1 taking on the 2-0 Megatron's Missing Megatron's Johnson, and that should be a good game as well. He'll need another good performance out of Tom Brady to get his team up ahead of MGM, who has had a pretty good team, but Eli is going to face it tough in Philly as he goes up there. And K Hunt heads to the coast to take on the full thrust of the Chargers this week. And if you were looking at the Smack Chat this week, you can see Huey's Hogs grabbed onto the K Hunt, and we ran with that and got some pretty good laughs out of that. Our third matchup we'll look at will be Mac Daddy's Madhouse taking on Steel Curtain, and the lackluster Steel Curtain, like we said, more like a tin curtain here. So we'll see if his 0-2 slide continues, or Mac Daddy goes ahead to a 2-1 start. Acadian Assassins are looking for their first win of the year as they take on Forsy's Fockers, as with Noah and Todd try to get to 2-1, and like we said, the Assassins try to get their first win. We've seen already Tuesday morning that she's already benched her quarterback, and Ben Roethlisberger, a familiar face to her, has moved up to the starting position for QB right now. So we'll see how that works out for her, and if Odell can get his game going in Philly as well. Okay, our fifth game of the week that we'll look at is Huey's Hogs taking on Jethro's Heroes. Can Huey dethrone Jethro and get him off his to a 3-0 start, or keep him at 2-1? And Huey will move up to that as well. We'll see how that works out. It's going to be a really close match, and the key here will be whether or not the replacement tight end on Huey's Hogs, as Greg Olson broke his foot on Sunday, will be able to get the points to maybe make the difference in this matchup. And our last matchup of the week will be Lucas Kickers taking on her first twosome of the season as she takes on Brad and Zach of Too Tired. Stacy hopefully will be able to right the ship and get a win this week and dethrone the 2-0 start of the Too Tired, who are in an unfamiliar place, so we don't know if they can keep that reign going or not. We'll see how that works. So good luck to everybody this week. And to let you know, Thursday night football, we'll see a really bad game. It will be the Los Angeles Rams taking on the San Francisco 49ers in the Battle of the East-West Coast. And Monday night football will be an important game for myself and Connolly's Crusaders as we see the Cowboys in Arizona. So at this point, I assume I will be ahead, and we will see what kind of points Connolly can pick up from his Dallas wannabe Stars and see if he can come from behind for the win. That's it for the commish this week. Kept it nice, short and sweet. And everybody have a great week. And I am working all weekend. Get home late on Monday night, so off Tuesday. So I should be able to get another one of these out next week as well. So everyone, take care and have a good week. Good luck with your teams.